In the courtroom today, an 18-year-old accused of killing his father and his father's girlfriend appeared before a judge for the first time.
Police say that Jaron Morgan killed the couple on Thanksgiving morning, and then went to set the house on fire. Those are the allegations. Our Ashton Hackman in the courtroom today explaining what comes up next in this very heartbreaking case.
18-year-old Jaron Morgan had to be wheeled into the courtroom for his initial hearing Tuesday morning. He's still recovering from a crash during a police chase shortly after the homicides. Both his hands were cuffed to the wheelchair as he listened to the judge read him his charges: murder, armed robbery, and felony arson. The shooting happened just after 10 Thanksgiving morning inside this home on Audubon Road. Firefighters called to put out a fire found Courtney C.J. Morgan and his girlfriend Megan Weakerson. Both were shot. CJ died inside the home. Megan died at the hospital. Police say Jaron shot the couple in front of their two young children before stealing Weakerson's Dodge Charger and speeding off. Court documents reveal shortly after police in Boone County saw the Charger speeding on 65 and chased after it towards Lafayette. It ended in a crash and Morgan was hospitalized. He wasn't officially charged until a week later. Morgan told detectives he couldn't remember the shooting or the police chase. He is figuring out if he will hire an attorney or have one provided by the state. His next court date is set for January 6th.
As with all murder cases in Indiana, Jaron Morgan will be held here in custody at the Marion County Jail until his case reaches a conclusion. In the meantime, his jury trial is set for February 23rd. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
On Thanksgiving Day 2025, at a residence in the 3700 block of North Audubon Road on the east side of Indianapolis, Indiana, two adults, 36-year-old Megan Weakerson and 36-year-old Courtney C.J. Morgan Jr., were found inside their home with fatal gunshot wounds amid an active house fire. Emergency responders discovered the scene after a report of a structure fire. Inside were the bodies of the two victims and two small children, ages 3 and 1, who survived and were removed unharmed. Initial investigation pointed to both homicide and arson. Within days, law enforcement identified and charged a suspect, an 18-year-old relative, with multiple counts, including murder, arson, and related offenses in connection with the Thanksgiving shooting and fire. The case has since unfolded through criminal charges, court filings, and an ongoing search for motive and accountability. Every case starts with evidence and ends with truth. We examine facts, not theories, details, not drama. This is Sunday Crime, where investigations speak for themselves. Subscribe now and stay updated as we uncover the facts behind every case. Megan Weakerson was a 36-year-old woman living in Indianapolis with her partner, Courtney Morgan Jr. She was known to operate a small crafting and graphic design business, producing personalized items and custom designs. Her work was often shared within local circles, including automotive and social groups connected to Morgan. Public records and family statements indicated no prior criminal history. Courtney C.J. Morgan Jr., also 36, had relocated to Indianapolis from Chicago years earlier. He was described by family members as someone with strong interests in cars and computers. Morgan was a father to multiple children, including an 18-year-old son from a previous relationship. He lived at the North Audubon Road residence with Weakerson and their two young children. On the morning of the incident, firefighters responded to reports of heavy smoke and flames from the residence. Once entry was made, the victims were located inside the structure. Fire crews focused on suppression, while police began securing evidence. Due to the presence of gunshot wounds, homicide detectives were immediately notified. Early findings indicated that both victims had been shot before the fire was set. Accelerants were suspected, and investigators began to determine the origin point of the fire and whether it had been intentionally started to destroy evidence. As detectives processed the scene, attention turned to the victim's family and recent activity. Investigators identified Morgan's 18-year-old son as someone who had been in contact with the victims shortly before the incident. Within hours of the fire, police received information about a high-speed pursuit involving a vehicle believed to be connected to the case. That same day, Indiana State Police engaged in a pursuit of a vehicle traveling northbound on Interstate 65. The driver fled at high speed before crashing near Lafayette, Indiana. The driver was identified as the 18-year-old son of Courtney Morgan, Jr. He was transported to a hospital in critical condition. Following the crash, investigators connected the pursuit to the North Audubon Road homicide and fire. Evidence collected from the scene, combined with witness statements and digital records, led authorities to identify the teen as the primary suspect. After his recovery, the suspect was formally charged. Prosecutors filed multiple felony counts, including 2 counts of murder, arson, robbery, and additional related offenses in connection with the Thanksgiving shooting and fire. Court documents alleged that the suspect shot both victims and then set the house on fire before fleeing the scene in a vehicle belonging to one of the victims. Investigators stated that the suspect had taken items from the residence prior to leaving, which supported the robbery charge. Digital evidence, including phone data and location records, was used to establish a timeline placing the suspect at the scene around the time of the killings. Fire investigators later confirmed that the blaze was intentionally set. The origin point and burn patterns were consistent with deliberate ignition rather than an accidental cause. Ballistics testing was conducted to match recovered evidence to the suspected weapon. The 2 surviving children were removed from the scene and placed into protective care. Authorities confirmed that the children were not physically harmed and were not believed to be targets in the incident. Child welfare services coordinated their placement with family members. As the case progressed, investigators examined possible motives. Court filings did not initially disclose a definitive motive, but prosecutors indicated that family conflict and financial factors were being considered. Detectives reviewed prior communications, household dynamics, and any history of disputes. Neighbors reported seeing no unusual activity prior to the incident, though some stated they had noticed emergency vehicles and smoke early that morning. The case drew significant attention due to the involvement of a family member and the timing on a national holiday. During court proceedings, prosecutors outlined the sequence of events, including the shootings, the fire, and the suspect's attempt to flee. Defense counsel requested evaluations and hearings related to the suspect's age and mental state. The court ordered continued detention as the case moved forward. As of the latest updates, the legal process remains ongoing. Investigators continue to analyze forensic evidence, and prosecutors are preparing for trial. The case remains a focal point for discussions around domestic violence, family-related crimes, and the intersection of homicide and arson investigations. The deaths of Megan Wickerson and Courtney Morgan, Jr. left unanswered questions that continue to be addressed through the court system. The final determination of responsibility and motive will be decided through legal proceedings as the case advances toward trial. Facts verified. Case concluded. Justice is found in what remains proven. This is Sunday Crime. Until the next investigation. Subscribe for more verified stories and real criminal investigations.